But it's important for me to be clear and try to explain this issue around the decline in enrollment in Nova Scotia and the increased cost of education in Nova Scotia. And that's a serious issue. I understand the issue very well. I've lived the issue for most of my career. But it's not as simple as just saying that if enrollment declines significantly, then it just makes sense that we should be able to handle significant declines in educational costs. So I'm going to try to explain what are some of the reasons why costs have increased when enrollment has declined. Let's use the 10-year window. We've experienced a significant increase in costs and wages, and of course, inflation due to Canadian price index. That would certainly be a significant increase in costs. One of the things that when we talk about absorbing costs, the fixed costs that we have in our system have nothing to do with declining enrollment. And the fixed costs I'm talking about are the maintenance on our buildings, the utilities. Transportation is a really interesting one. We do certainly have significant enrollment declines, but our buses are still traveling the same roads, the same distances. They probably are picking up fewer students, but they still have to travel those same roads to pick up students. And of course, as you realize, fuel costs have significantly increased. Our ability to maintain our buses is significantly increased in costs. And in general, some of those fixed costs just continue to go up. And of course, as a board, we have to absorb that. Our board has been proud of its ability to maintain small community schools. And that's certainly an issue. And one of the other significant issues in Nova Scotia is this issue of excess square footage. The school review process, as board members are very clear on, is a very difficult, long, time-consuming process. And to be perfectly blunt, Mr. Chair, reducing excess square footage in Nova Scotia has not been an easy task. And it's only been recently. And many of you would be aware of what's happened in the Strait Board in the last week or two, where they have taken the opportunity to reduce square footage and actually close some schools. But the school review process is very difficult, long and drawn out, and there hasn't been a lot of movement in Nova Scotia in that regard. And of course, if you have excess square footage, you still have to maintain it, you heat it, you put lights in it, and you have to fix it, no matter how many students are in the building. And finally, I want to talk on this slide about the increased supports that were put in place back in 2005 through to 2007 from Learning for Life 1 and 2. Greater than $48 million was injected into the system to put interventions, supports, and programs in place that were much needed initiatives in Nova Scotia. And so you can see that all those things start to explain why costs have increased, even when enrollment has declined.